Good afternoon, everyone. So, not many updates regarding my personal status, and updates on this front will probably be scarce, as well, I don't have any support now at all from anyone whatsoever, and I have zero money. And most of my stuff is either like in container where I don't have access to because I'm under arrest here at this hostel, or more importantly, the important stuff are in my mother's apartment and she doesn't want to give it to me, basically because she's a bitch. So I do have a bank account with a little bit of money in it, but it's not accessible because they need to sort out some legal issues. I hope it will be sorted out. And more importantly, I have, as I said before, money in my pension fund, which some of it is liquid. It's called Keren Ishtalmut in Hebrew. I don't know what's the translation, and I don't even know if there is an equivalence in other countries. It doesn't really matter. It's one. I mean, it's an element of the pension fund money that is somehow liquid, not entirely liquid, but I think that, I mean, in my position, it could be liquid. It's separated between several accounts, and so I inspected it yesterday or the day before, and there is maybe a little bit more than 100,000 shekels in it, which is less than I expected. I thought it should be somewhere between 100 and 200,000, and it's kind of disappointing. But I've seen that there were losses. It was actually a bad year for those kind of funds. They lost a considerable amount of money. I mean, at least mine during this year. So maybe it is due to that. And I also need to start to actually transfer the money to my bank account, but it will take some time because currently, as I said, the bank account is not. I mean, even if I will do it, I'm not sure what I would be able to get the money out of it. So I need to earn. So anyway, this will take a little bit of time. Everything takes time, you know. But I hope that it will, at least within a week or two or something like that. I would the money. I mean, I will have my own my bank like an active bank account, hopefully with more than 100,000 shekels, which should allow me to, and hopefully they will give me some kind of credit card because I can't do anything without credit card. You know, I'm under arrest, and I'm not sure. I mean, there is also the option of debit card, which is not common in Israel, but I'm not sure it works with like for example with Amazon, which is important if I want to buy very specific things. For example, microscopic slides. Anyway, we will get to it. It will take a couple of days until things are clear. But the money situation is simple. I mean, what use do I have for pension fund if I'm in my own situation where I don't have anything to, literally, I eat only charity food so who knows what's going to be in the future, and arguably the pension concept, the Keynesian pension concept is not applicable to robots, but maybe we can get an episode of Economic Explained on how to adjust pension issues to synthetic life forms. Actually, Isaac Arthur already mentioned these kind of issues in the past, but unfortunately, he doesn't. I like Isaac Arthur, but he doesn't. I think that he doesn't. Preferably, I would have wanted him to speak more about social issues and economics issues, and less on hard science fiction and like technology and physics, even though it's all very, very interesting. But anyway, I miss my daughters very much, and it breaks my heart every day, and I really don't know what to do. I mean, I think that it was a crime against humanity, and as I said before, not an unpunishable crime, and the people involved will be accountable. And I mainly speak about, I mean, to clarify, I do not speak at all about like the mother, because she is not enough a factor at all. This is between me and the state of Israel, and it was always like that. It's always Noam David against the state of Israel. My civil, so-called civil, cases are all. There is no distinction between the civil cases and the criminal cases, because both of them are the government, I mean the state against Noam David. So, but I need to do the noise is ongoing. I mean, if there is one constant in Israel, it's the noise. I mean, always the noise. As I said before, it's the ultimate and also the most common weapon of the Israelis, the noise. And I do. The site is online, but no one is contacted me, and this is very disappointing. As I said, I'm not going to sell anything for anonymous people in the prices that will be set by the Israeli government, and in explicit or implicit, with explicit or implicit understanding, even if it's only one-sided, as it was always had been, that the real goods that I need to supply for the money is my body. I'm not going to be a whore. The idea of selling stuff was always, I always said I want to sell things abroad, because I know that in Israel, if I'm going to sell stuff, it will be mediated by the state, by the Shabak, and always with the one side understanding from their own point of view that I need to supply sexual services like as the real as a bonus for the exchange, and also of course the bodily fluids, and it's not going to happen. I mean, that's the way that why I issued a new passport, and when I received it, I was framed for the current arrest that's still ongoing, and you understand that they don't want me to get out of Israel. So if I can sell stuff like for people that actually want to be identified by name, and I'm not going to sell anything, because if it's anonymous, it means that I do not set the price at all. Only the government of Israel, and it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. I think. And as I said, the idea of auction is ridiculous, because what they really want when they say do auction is an anti-auction. Like anti-auction, as I said in Hebrew, is mechira pumbit, but they want it to be like public sale. That's the literal, translation of the word auction in Hebrew is public sale. But they want it to be an anti-auction, like an anti-public sale. So they will, with anonymous buyer, and with the price that is presumably set by like a mechanism that is objective or neutral. But of course, it's not going to be, because they also control. The government, also the state controls the internet. So they will set the price, and so no, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. No. And of course, as I said, it's more important for me to sell the paintings rather than the slides, if not for the only reason that the paintings, I actually hold them, they're actually here. And the slides are in my mother's apartment, and she's not willing to give it to me. So, and no, I'm not going to prepare new slides, because I don't have a microscope and I don't have the slides. And even if I would, I'm not sure that I'm going to prepare new stuff when the old stuff was already stolen. It's ridiculous. It will only, reinforce the Shabak to steal more stuff. No, so it's not going to happen. It's disappointing that the people do not want the paintings because I think that they worth money for several very good reasons. But I understand that the slides are the real thing that people want because they can be. I mean, it could be argued that they can delete. I mean, the paradigm of my life is that I must be like live in a bubble, so the government could delete me any time that they want. And this is also, of course, the preferable state of affairs from the point of view of other nations, specifically the United States. And when I say delete, I do not mean kill for necessarily to kill me. I am using like the Orwellian term of like al-ish, like I don't remember I haven't read 1984 in the English original, which is a shame because I'm sure that it's a book that was reading in the original, but I've read it of course in translation. So it's something like a non-person or something like that. It means like a person that that every formal trace of his life was deleted, even like photographs or Photoshop or whatever the equivalent in the Soviet Union was that they were released. They removed the person from any account, and also all the people that ever knew him are told to say that they never knew him, like even his own family, and perhaps he can stay alive, incarcerated or even not incarcerated, but he's not a person, like he is deleted from all accounts. And of course the potential of making me such a person, like a non-person, an al-ish, is of course one of the main tenets of how the government treats me, like from when I was born, and it's still the case. And selling the paintings would make it difficult, and of course it's one of the reasons that I started painting in the first place. That was one of my motivations since the beginning, like a year and a half ago. I understood the situation that the al-ish, the non-person issue, and I wanted not to be an al-ish or not to be the potential like a non-person. So I thought, okay, paintings, like tangible paintings, are perhaps a way to do it, even though they can also be faked. But yeah, so from the start, I used like all sorts of like blood and biological stuff from my body. Long before I thought about like using the nanobots. I mean, if I would have done it now, I would have, as I said, used the nanobots to also, modify the paintings, and there are several ways to do it, and I've already did it, but it's a very late, and I already have quite a bit of paintings, and it takes a lot of. I paint in such a way that it takes a lot of time because I usually use oil and several layers of acrylics and oil, something like that. So anyway, I always wanted. It was part of the whole of the idea was not only like to make money, which was of course very important, but is really important, but also to nullify the option or to reduce the probability of me becoming al-ish, becoming non-person. And that's why physical tangible object was so important for me. It's not that all my life I was all of my life I wasn't like a person that deals with art at all or with tangible stuff. My profession, as you know, is software engineering, and my hobbies were mostly concentrated around writing and literature and things like that. So it was quite a departure from from my profession and things that I used to. But I understood that I actually need to create the tangible stuff as a way, and to find a way to distribute them as a way to reduce the option of me becoming this al-ish, and also to fight the state and to fight the government in my own way. But all this was understood by of course by the Shabak and the people, the other intelligence agencies, and that's why they don't want the paintings at all. They only want the slides, because the slides, you could argue that they were created, using nanobots that were taken from other titans, for example, or from another person which is not me at all, and which its biography will be invented by the government, as you know that it's very easy to do. And so they want to control the story about the source, which is much more easier with the slides and with the paintings. And this is all very, very sad. And because eventually, I mean, even if I get, and I don't see like very good reason why not, I will get the access to this 100,000 shekels soon. I mean, they will also be over like eventually. It will not last forever. So I need money, and I don't have any like. And the state, I mean, that does not want me to have any money at all, because they want me to be a whore. These are very, I mean, like this is grim. These are grim circumstances for me, but still, it still leaves me the option, which is theoretical, but I'm sure possible. I don't know if. But I just don't know if it's possible using my means, using my extremely limited means, which is to use the neos to create value, like objectively valuable stuff like gold, which presumably could be sold without intervention of no one. Even this is difficult, like in my current condition, but hopefully it will get better with time, like my limited conditions. Okay, so I will stop this video now, and in a very short while I will start a new video which will be focused on science. And science is incredibly important for me because, first of all, I need something to do. I'm under arrest. There are no books here, and like I don't find amusement with television these days and movies, even though I've watched many movies in the past, but today I kind of like, I don't feel, maybe I will force myself to watch something later today, but I don't feel like I feel like it. So and also, as it maybe, I mean, there is always the option that I will strike gold, as they say, literally or not. And it's incredibly difficult, because I mean, if it was difficult in the conditions that I were in, like in my mother's apartment, it's now even considerably more difficult, because I don't have any of even the stuff that I had in my mother's apartment. I don't have it now. I have almost nothing besides like junk that I find here in the hostel or like in the garbage can. And of course, the most limiting factor is the fact that I don't have the microscope and the slides. And this is really, I really hope my mother will change her way and just bring it to me. It should be incredibly easy. And the fact that she didn't do it is because, of course, she knows that she doesn't see much value in my whereabouts, or she doesn't care about my whereabouts if it's not cacheable. And maybe it's less cacheable than before. I don't know, maybe some Nazis in the United States actually heard my crying and decided to stop financing the monsters in Israel, including my mother. I hope so. Maybe that's the reason why she doesn't cooperate at all. But it's incredibly difficult to do any of the science without microscope. Again, if I will have like access to this 100,000 shekels, I will be able, and the credit card, I will be able to buy a new microscope and microscopic slides. This will all of this will take some time, but it's something. It's something to look for. But still, what I can do without microscope is a lot of little bit of experiments, which I will describe later. In the following video, and also a lot of theory. Theory is something that I mostly need in my head, and my prior documentation, both the videos and the photographs, and so that's why it's so. And I have quite a bit of these, as you know, online and in the Google Photos account. So I actually devised a few interesting new theories lately. So I will share these theories with you, and hopefully I will think about. I also decided to think about to design research like experiments that could, in a way, help to substantiate, to corroborate those new theories, or to, of course, falsify the theories. So another video will be started in a bit.